Yo, welcome back to the Splat Sports Podcast. I'm Hunter McCormick.
I'm Grant Russell.
Oh, we're giggling today. I'm back. Big week of sports. Very big week. Got a lot
Yeah,
to talk about. But Jiros, how was your week?
it was good. You know, I don't know. Nothing really special happened. It was just our week, first full week back at school. So
Womp womp.
long week for us,
It's
but
been cold. Very cold.
it has been cold.
I almost blew away
Hopefully we get
today.
out Tuesday.
No. Anyway, I had a pretty good week. I was out last week. It broke my heart. Barrett did a great job.
Phenomenal
We're going to hear
job.
from Barrett
Yes.
today. Barrett's going to be helping us around on the Splat Sports Network. And speaking of the network, we now have another show.
We're expanding.
We are expanding. Splat Picks. So it's about our boy Drew Carver, James, and Jack Matzik. It's very hard to explain what they kind of do. First episode's out today at the time of recording, which is Saturday. But go check them out. It's going to be on the YouTube still. And they have a separate Instagram that looks like it's doing better than our current one right now.
Yeah,
But we'll recover.
there's a lot of bettors out there.
They are not actually betting.
Yes,
no gambling is
yes.
happening.
They just give you advice. They're very professional.
They're
opinions.
knowledgeable.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot going on sports world. Let's talk about college sports world, and something that I think we all knew it was going to happen, but we didn't know when or how long. But
Yeah.
Nick Saban has retired, and Bama's already found his replacement.
Mhm.
I kind of figured I thought we would film the episode a bit earlier because I knew Alabama would find the head coach before we recorded on Saturday. I'm still a little shocked about it,
Yeah.
but I think
Yeah, because there was more buzz around him retiring last year, I think,
yes,
than this year. Because everybody kind of just thought, he'd do another year or two, like finish with Milrow maybe or something.
yeah,
But instead, he decided to call it this year.
yeah. I think I'm still kind of just I don't know. There's a lot of unknown there,
Yeah.
and I think that in the job search leading up to it, you had, basically every coach in the country named.
Yeah.
And if you were in that position where let's say you're Dan Lanning, you had a great year at Oregon, you got a lot of talent coming in, and you've been coached you were coached at Alabama. You taking that job or are you staying at Oregon?
I'm staying at Oregon.
I would too. I think that all those guys that were offered, like Sarkisian, Norvell, Lanning, maybe Kiffin, we don't know if he was offered or not, but I don't think they wanted to be the guy that follows the guy because that's tough. And I think that it's a great job. It's the best job probably in college sports, but you also have to realize that you're not going to be able to live up to where that was. You're not going to be able to recruit like him. You're not going to be able to win like him. You're not going to be able to dominate him. But one man stepped up, which is
Kalen DeBoer.
Kalen DeBoer from Washington. I didn't know he had won that much. He wins a lot. I think that the one thing that might kind of kill him at Bama is he's not going to be able to recruit as well as Saban was because he didn't recruit well at Washington.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what he does there. I think that this first season is going to be kind of rough because it's like losing, I don't know, kind of like your lifeblood of the program, which Saban was. But I also saw where he kind of said that Saban can come in and do basically whatever he wants.
Yeah. The biggest thing that I think you have to watch for, especially like, when college football comes back, is Alabama's fans, because I think they understand that they're going to have to temper expectations a little bit, but they're going to have to recalibrate their expectations so much. And I think that I know that DeBoer, and what you said about recruiting, I think he's more of a transfer portal guy, like Kiffin,
Yes.
like Norvell, and like coaches like that. But this is a guy who, before he went to Washington, he was head coach at UNLV, right? I believe he was. And
Yes.
I might be
I'll
wrong.
check that while
Yes,
you go.
check that for me. And I believe his quarterback was Bailey Zappi. Is that correct? I want to
I
say
don't know.
that's true.
Keep going though.
Okay. So what that tells me is that, if you've seen Bailey Zappi in the NFL, and if I am right on that he can coach anybody. Because you've seen what Bailey Zappi's doing right now. It's a trash fest up there in New England. And so he's a great coach. I'd argue he is the best offensive mind in the SEC now. Maybe slightly ahead at Heupel or Kiffin.
It was Fresno State.
Fresno State, sorry. Was it
Or well, he kind of was all over the
was it
place.
Zappi?
No,
Was he at UNL? Oh, was he at UNLV?
Zappy was at Western Kentucky.
Oh, okay. Well, forget
He,
everything I said
I
about
think
that.
he's only been a head coach.
Who's the quarterback at Fresno State that was really good then? When
Jake
they beat UCLA?
Hewer or
No.
something like
When they
that.
beat UCLA? No.
Or is somebody? It was somebody. I don't know. But this is his only third head coaching job, and he's only been a head coach. He was head coach at Fresno State from 2020 to 2021. Head coach at Washington from 2022 to 2023. Now he's Alabama's head coach. It's a very quick turnaround. He's only lost 12 games, and you know he's kind of been at smaller schools, I guess. Washington really being his big one. He was at Indiana. He was their offensive coordinator for 1 year
Mm-hmm.
when Tennessee beat him. He's just kind of been. He's never coached in the South, at
Yeah.
least.
Mm-hmm.
Very interested to see what he does.
Mm-hmm.
I think that now
Yeah.
it's Georgia's league, and you can argue that it was Georgia's league this year and last year. But I still think that Bama was that threat to them.
Yeah.
So now I think it's Georgia's league, and it's Georgia's league to lose.
Who? What do you think? I haven't looked at their schedule that deep. Obviously, they have to play Tennessee.
I think
They have to play
I
Auburn.
think they play Georgia this year too.
Yeah, they play Georgia. What do you think would be a successful first season for DeBoer?
I think that if he just lives up to the somewhat of the schedule or
What
live up to
what
the hype. I mean,
what record would you say
here's
would
their
make his
schedule.
job not under
Like,
hot seat? Like what record
I
would
don't
make him
think
not
he'll
on
be
hot seat?
hot seat first year, but it's a pretty tough schedule. I mean, he opens up Western Kentucky, USF, and then at Wisconsin, which tough place to play. Wisconsin's not going to be bad either. Their first SEC game is Georgia, so
In a sense, that's a good thing.
rough
Well, and
start.
that's kind of a
It will
good thing.
tamper the expectations, I believe, and then you
That's a good thing for him.
play 2 wins that you'll get. You'll get a win at Vanderbilt, win versus South Carolina. Then you're at Tennessee. Could go either way there. You're also losing a lot of talent. A lot of talent's transferring out of Bama. I'm sure we'll cover that eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I think that really the first out of their first 7 games, looks like 7 or 8 games, they play really just two tough opponents in Wisconsin and at
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee. Then you play Missouri, which they'll be all right. They'll be better. I wouldn't say better. I think they'll be just about the same or a little bit below there. I feel like Missouri's going to be like Tennessee, how they were from last year to this year.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. With
they'll have a lot of expectations, and they'll kind of just
an 8-4.
yeah. Then you play at LSU, which I think will be tough. Mercer, and then at Oklahoma and Auburn. So you finish with, I mean, your final 5 out of the 4 games are tough. So I think another thing is he's also been in the Pac-12, and Pac-12 usually if you're the better team, you're going to win in the Pac-12. It doesn't matter if you're the better team in the SEC. It's what team's going to show up for you. So I'm very interested to see that.
If you were Jane Milrow, would you stay? Do you think he'll stay?
I think he'll stay. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got the starting job locked down.
Yeah.
He's going to let the naysayers know, and
I think
yeah,
I think DeBoer could develop him really well because I know he's like supposed to be the Heisman favorite, but I think having DeBoer as his coach elevates that even more
yes and no.
because I think Miller has one of the best. I think he has one of the best. Like I think his deep ball is better than anything else he has.
Yes, I would agree to that. He's also going to have to find a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's kind of because Steele retired. Did he retire?
Yep. Yeah, he retired. But yeah, now it leaves the Washington job open. And I was talking with my dad about it, and he was basically kind of said, like, whoever takes the Alabama job, it's going to create another opening, then another opening. And it just changes the landscape, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those moments in college football that just changes it. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to guide Washington in their first season to the Big Ten. And it's going to be make or break for Washington. Now they don't have a quarterback there because Will Rogers just transferred.
Yes.
So yeah, very interesting stuff there.
Yeah, I think they'll hire. I don't think they'll hire a big name or anything. I think they'll do what they did.
Yeah, I think they'll go small.
Yeah, I think they'll go like a maybe smaller mid-major team that has success, and they'll bank off that like a coach kind of.
Yep. And then speaking of Washington, they played in the national championship. Barrett and Grant gave their thoughts on it. I'll give mine on it. It was very boring. I think.
Yeah.
We can all agree to it. I think we expected a different
offense.
Yeah.
More. Everybody was expecting that.
Congrats to Michigan, I guess. You got to cheat your way to get there. But Michigan might not have the same head coach, though. Jim Harbaugh, they are talking about a contract extension, but there are some common beliefs that he might leave.
I have seen also in the contract that that Michigan is pushing for a contract with the term that he cannot leave after 1, maybe 2 years. They're trying to put that in there because Harbaugh could leave at any moment, anytime, any season.
Is there a job that you think he's holding out for in the NFL? Because I think there's a lot of head coaching positions opened, but I don't know what team would be the best fit. Like the Falcons, he would not fit. I don't think. Seattle, he would not fit. Washington could.
Yeah.
The Raiders' job's still open. Panthers' job, but every job is basically still open besides the Patriots job. We'll get to that.
Do you think he'd fit well at the Chargers?
Maybe.
Because there's talent there.
There's a lot of talent there. There's a lot that he could do there.
Like he has to build, a team. It's basically already made.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting idea. Plus, is he going to stick around for the violations? Because they're coming.
I don't even think they'll come this year. I think they'll come next year.
No, I think they'll be very far away. But
yeah,
very interesting stuff there. Speaking of the NFL, had another landscape changing, I guess, kind of fire.
2. You include Pete Carroll.
Yeah, 2 really. Bill Belichick out as head coach in New England. You saw it coming. Here's my question: do you think he will get another job somewhere?
No, but I mean, if it was up to me and I was like an owner or a GM, whatever, I would not hire him.
No,
if that's my thought process. But I mean, it's Bill Belichick, so he'll probably get a job. I mean,
I agree with you there. I would not. I'm not saying it's a risk to. I don't know how I'm trying to word this here. It's not a risk to hire him. It's a risk to what he's going to do with that team, because the Patriot identity is now changed completely with VFL Gerard Mayo taking the head coaching job. He's now the youngest head coach.
Yeah.
Good for him.
The only place I see Belichick going to is the Commanders, just because that's where he's from.
Yeah, and I feel like he could build that place similar to what he did in New England.
Yeah, but my thing with Belichick is, and like a couple former players came out, not Tom Brady, just other players that say like the culture was not good up there,
Yeah,
because like apparently it was more like
my way
because
or the
always Bill
highway.
O'Brien's obviously one very harsh about you saw him. I mean, he told Melrose shouldn't be a quarterback, and you've seen him on the sidelines with Zappy and people like that, and he's just yelling at him stuff. And the culture there, I think, was the biggest issue. Um, so I am happy for Mayo. I hope that he succeeds at Page. I think he could.
I think he will.
You think
You
he
give
will?
him a wide open roster. You give him. I mean, now the Patriots have to also get a GM. They don't have one, so it's now.
Yeah, bad GM.
It's now going to become
Yeah.
who's going to run that table. And now I think with Belichick, are you going to fire your GM to get him, or are you going to?
Yeah.
It's just a weird. It's one of those, and there's still a bunch of head coaching jobs opened. The Falcons, Seattle. I think every single one besides the Patriots is kind of open right now, and it's going to be. I think it's kind of like an MLB free agency right now. It's waiting for that one big guy to fall off the board, and then the rest will all fall. So I'm very interested to see kind of who or what ends up where. I think that it will all depend on the playoffs. I think it will depend on this weekend, which we don't even know if we're going to get playoff games this weekend. I don't know if you've looked around
the Bills,
the country.
The Bills Steelers game is
half the country's frozen right
the
now.
Bills. Yeah, the Bills game is.
Bills game got postponed.
No, it's
or it got moved.
It's official 4:30 on Monday.
Yeah, moved to Monday. The Chiefs game, I think at kickoff is supposed to be negative.
Yeah.
Like the wind chill with it's supposed to be like negative 13. I think I saw the latest.
Yeah.
Very. It's a big wild card weekend because you have a lot hanging in the balance. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be cold. It's getting colder outside at the moment. And so now we're getting to that point where it's kind of a big weekend in football, I think. Very big weekend in football. But let's you want to give the playoff picks, Jira?
I'll give mine.
You can give yours. I'll give mine.
First,
we'll just go game by game.
Yeah,
you give your pick. I'll give my pick.
Well, Houston and the Browns. Winner plays Baltimore. Who do you think will pull that out?
I think it's in Cleveland, right? No, it's in Houston.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if the Joe Flacco Cinderella run. What are you doing here, buddy?
Make it bigger.
Oh no! Oh my gosh, we're messing up. All right. I don't know if the Joe Flacco Cinderella run lasts. But you also have a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach.
Yes.
In D'Amico Ryans.
That has done well, but
it's done well. It'll be tough. I'm going to go Cleveland. I think that veteran experience, I think that the Cleveland Browns team is much better than the Houston Texans team. And I think momentum-wise, Cleveland has all the momentum heading into the game while Houston does not.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's Browns just because I think they have the top 3, if not the best defense in football. I mean, I think Myles Garrett should. I think he should be Defensive Player of the Year, but I mean, he's kind of leveled out at the end of the year. Joe Flacco, he's been here. DJ Stroud has not been here. Yeah. I mean, Flacco's gone all the way, so I just don't see. I think Stroud will have some great moments, but I think that game on the line, I see it. If this was to happen, I see a turnover.
Yep,
happening in some form or fashion.
Next game, Kansas City, Miami. Tyreek Hill returns to the Red Kingdom. I think this one is going to be one of those good old one score. We might only see a touchdown scored today.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen Miami do not great in the cold. They kind of choked in the playoffs last year. Didn't have a quarterback in Buffalo, but I don't really know here. I don't know if I'm going to keep my Patrick Mahomes hate going or trust Tua. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. Why not? I like the Dolphins pick.
All right.
Just because I don't want to see Mahomes succeed.
I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go Mahomes. And the Chiefs. I've watched a lot of the Dolphins this year, partly because Tua was my fantasy quarterback. I'll get that out of the way. And the more I've watched them, especially as the year goes on, I've noticed that he does not thrive in one possession games. And that's, because as the year has gone, and you've noticed, in games where they've needed him, like when they got smacked by the Bills. Like,
Yeah.
I know it's in Buffalo, Bills Mafia, yada, yada, yada. But they figured out how to cover Tyreek. And over the course of, you've seen, and over the course of your teams are starting to do what the Bills did. And, you can only do that so much to Tyreek, though. But I believe I saw the stat a couple weeks ago that was like Tua gets the ball out faster than anybody. Like he throws the first read because it's usually open, yes. But if it's not open, he panics. And obviously with his concussions and stuff, he can't be like Mahomes and move. He can't improvise, and so especially in the cold, possible snow maybe. I don't think Tua would thrive in that scenario. So I'm gonna go Mahomes. I'm not saying Mahomes is gonna put up 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, or anything. I mean, this score could be 13-6.
We might not even seed 400.
Yeah, I mean, this score might be 13-6, but I think it's Mahomes just has more experience, and I think, both teams will be running it a lot, I believe, because both teams have a solid run game. Dolphins have the better run game, but I just see the Chiefs. I don't see Miami walking out of Kansas City with a win. I just can't see it.
All right. We'll just leave it at that. Buffalo, Pittsburgh. The Mason Rudolph show, is it going to show up in Buffalo? Heck no. The Bills are going to win.
Yeah.
Bills going to win?
I think it'll be close, though. Because Mike Tomlin makes it close.
I think that Pittsburgh's defense will help.
Yeah.
But it's Buffalo's game to lose.
Yeah, Josh Allen could probably turn over like 8 times and still win.
Yep.
So to me. Yeah.
Now we go to the good old NFC. We got Tampa Bay versus Philly. The Eagles have stumbled into this game, and I don't think A.J. Brown's playing.
He's not. He's rolled out officially.
Does Baker Mayfield win this game? Because I think he does. It hurts me to say that because it's the Bucs, and I do not like the Bucs. But
from the Bucs,
Bucs are gonna win.
Okay. Gosh, I don't know, because I had my thing going into this. I'm like, how far did you? It's off the top of your head. Did Baker? How far was his longest run
in the playoffs?
Yes, like did he even get past the divisional round? Did he ever?
No.
Okay, then I'll go Hurts. I'll go Philly just because of that.
Okay,
but that's just shot in the dark because this could go either way to me, But at the same time though, I could see Philly just like getting ticked off at all of this, all this hate about him, just run him out of the building.
Yeah, we're gonna skip the next game. We're gonna go to Dallas and Green Bay because I'm very passionate about my next pick. In the next game.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay, I don't think stands a chance in this game against the Cowboys.
Really?
I just do not think. I was listening to the Splat Picks boys talk about this game and talk about They gave their Super Bowl picks, and I think two. Trying to remember who. But I think they picked the Cowboys. Besides Jack, I think he picked the 49ers. But I agree with what they had to say. They said, "Listen, nobody's been able to stop Dak and CD. I think it's going to continue to happen here. The Packers are going to be without Jay or Alexander, I believe, as well. Who's their best coverage guy? Dallas has a clear shot to the Super Bowl. Besides for the 49ers. But we'll get into that later. Give your pick on this one.
I like Jordan Love a lot. I don't know why I'm thinking because I'm gonna pick Dallas, but Dallas in the playoffs is scary, because you know the Cowboys, they always manage to blow it, you could say, but I think Dallas wins. I think this game to me is similar to the Cleveland Houston game in a sense that
you got a younger team.
Yeah, and the stellar defense on the other side, and that Jordan Love makes a couple mistakes that he can't take back.
Yep.
So yeah.
Now the game that I think everybody's going to watch. You have Matthew Stafford leading the Rams back into Detroit. I think that Detroit is going to have to win this one, or else they will not make the playoffs ever again. Or not ever again, but I don't think they'll have any success in the playoffs ever again. I'm saying, like, this is Detroit's one and only year to win. Because Ben Johnson's going to leave. That's their offensive coordinator.
Yes, I know. I picked him to go to Washington.
Congratulations,
Carolina.
Give him some skin.
Don't gotta tell me who he is.
I think that this is the make or break. Can Detroit do it? And I think Detroit will do it. I think Detroit's going to win.
Yeah, I disagree.
Oh.
So, here's what I love about these quarterbacks. These are two quarterbacks that are pocket passers. And I think a lot of people overlook two great. What?
No, just keep going.
I agree. I think a lot of people overlook two great, just pure passers in the league. Because everybody wants somebody that can run and improvise, or somebody's a scrambler. And like at the end of the day, though, the best quarterbacks of all time are the ones who just sit in the pocket and just throw it.
Are you saying Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff are two of the best quarterbacks?
I'm not saying that. Okay. I'm saying the best player. I'm not comparing them to. I'm just saying that shown in history, you don't need somebody who can run to go deep in the playoffs.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I think Detroit.
And however,
just give your pick.
I think Matthew Stafford's a better quarterback.
Oh my gosh!
And also McVay's scheme is better.
Oh,
they look over the middle. They spread you out.
Oh my gosh!
So I just see it's Stafford's return.
Okay.
Detroit did what's best for them.
Okay. Well, we gave, if you follow the Instagram, go follow it, please. If you follow our Instagram, we gave our top 5 playoff quarterbacks that we would want to have heading into the playoffs. And I'll give my list first. Here's my number 5, Tua. Number 4, Mahomes. Number 3, Josh Allen. Number 2, Brock Purdy. And number 1, Lamar. Here's G. Russ's list. Stafford, Hurts, Prescott, Lamar, Mahomes. Very similar list. I think I have Mahomes at Why'd you put Mahomes at number 1, G. Russ? If you have him barely making it out of the first round.
I didn't say barely make it out. I mean, you've seen teams have a close first round and they just run the table.
Sure.
You saw that, and I know it's a completely different story, but FAU almost. they closed against Memphis, but then they ran away.
I'm not okay. So you got Mahomes number 1? No Johnny Football, Lamar Jackson.
It's Patrick Mahomes, man. At the end of the day, it's Patrick Mahomes. Lamar Jack. Okay, what has Lamar Jackson done in his playoff career?
You're right.
I'll tell you, he lost to the Titans.
You're Vrabel. Oh wait, Vrabel's not there anymore. Splat.
Yeah.
Adios, Vrabel.
Yeah. And so,
Okay.
I'll be honest. You know how you feel about the Lions? And they're like, this is their year? That's how I feel about the Ravens.
This is their make or break year.
Yes, because also, I think Munkin could get a head coach job.
Okay. I think Lamar is the best quarterback heading into this.
I don't.
Heading into the playoffs.
I don't. Because Patrick Mahomes is, in my opinion, I think Mahomes is head and shoulders.
That notification we just got was fantastic.
Yeah. I think that. But you put Mahomes at 4.
I'm just a Mahomes
That's
hater.
more country. Why don't you like Mahomes?
Because he sounds like Kermit the Frog. He complains about every call when Josh Allen has every right to complain about half the calls that he doesn't get, and Josh Allen just goes, "Okay," and walks off. He's a baby. But anyway,
What great player in any league now doesn't complain?
so many come to the top of the head.
Yeah, I bet they do.
Anyway, we're gonna kick off our new segment.
I'm surprised you didn't get on me for Purdy. The Purdy hate that I am endorsing.
I do not want to. We're gonna get to Barrett's Weekly Winners.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new segment.
New segment.
Barrett's gonna. I don't know what he's gonna say. He said he wanted to be on, and I said we'll give you a segment. So here's Barrett's Weekly Winners.
What's up, Splat Sports? It's Barrett here. I'm so proud to announce my new segment called Barrett's Weekly Winners. I'd like to say thank you to Grant Hunter for letting me have this wonderful segment. It's truly an honor just to be on the show. What are y'all? If y'all are thinking, what is Barrett's Weekly Winners? So Barrett's Weekly Winners is going to be 4 to 5 or 3, maybe however, weekly winners of this past week in sports. It can be a team, an organization, a certain player, a certain sport in general. It's a really exciting week in that sport. Or, the fans can be winners. Fans can win some too, obviously. So, yeah, I think that's Barrett's Weekly Winners. I'm just super excited to get into this and show y'all what I've got in store for this. So, my first weekly winner is going to be my Washington Commanders. Now, I know many of y'all are thinking, why the Commanders? Why the Commanders? They had a horrible week. Well, let me tell you why. Josh Harris has started phase 1 of his complete overhaul and rebuild of this franchise. Josh Harris comes in this year. He's the new owner or replacement for Dan Snyder. The Dan Snyder era is over. Thank you, Washington Commanders fans, rejoice. Josh Harris has a lot of stuff to do that he couldn't accomplish all last year. It's just too much. He'd have had to basically fire the whole organization. So now, they fire their GM and head coach. Ron Rivera's out now. So they've got to fill those 2 spots. What does Josh Harris do? He brings in Bob Myers and Rick Spielman, 2 just very, very well-respected sports minds throughout all of sports, really, not just NFL. Bob Myers is the orchestrator behind the Golden State Warriors dynasty these past couple of years. Rick Spielman, former GM for the Minnesota Vikings, just 2 very experienced people in sports and candidate hires and whatever, so they're going to do a phenomenal job. And I think they did. They've already hired their new GM, Adam Peters, he's a Washington guy. He wanted this job. He had multiple other job offers, but what he did? He canceled all of his interviews, and he said, you know what, I'm going to Washington. This is my job. I want to work for Josh Harris. I think as a Commanders fan, that's something you want. Usually these past couple of years, it's been the opposite. People don't want to come to Washington. Now people are starting to kind of wanting to come and play for this new organization with some new energy, new positive energy that hasn't been felt in forever. So obviously they still got to fill that head coaching job. I think they've got a couple of candidates. Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, seems to be like their guy. I think they want him to come. But you can also look at Eric Bieniemy, their current offensive coordinator, who did a pretty decent job this year, especially at the beginning. towards the end, obviously we know what happened there. Commanders have the number 2 pick now, thankfully. But or you could look at maybe Jim Harbaugh. Just throwing that one out there. I'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, first weekly winner, Washington Commanders. I'm super pumped to see what they have in store for this basically new organization, in my opinion. So yeah. My second weekly winner is going to be C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud just put on an absolute clinic yesterday in the wild card round. Yeah, just phenomenal. He killed the Browns. He proved, in my opinion, that he's just deserving of the Offensive Rookie of the Year by far. I know Puka Nakua's had a great year or whatever. Not knocking him at all. I think he kind of deserves it too, honestly. You hate to see it, but no, I think Stroud's the more deserving, just what he's done for his team, really. I think he's completely turned the Texans around. They went from losers to winners now. They won a playoff game, which hasn't been said in a pretty decent amount of time for them. I think he became the first rookie quarterback to ever win a playoff game, which is big. I think that shows his maturity for his age and also just his ability to play in these big-time games. He threw for 274 yards with 3 passing touchdowns, which is a very, very good passing stat line. He also had 153.7 passer rating, which is very good. His best of the year by far. So this was his best game and the biggest game of his career. It's a good sign for Texans fans, for sure. So I'll be continuing to root and look at C.J. Stroud throughout these playoffs and see what him and the Texans can do. My third weekly winner is college basketball underdogs. This was a crazy week in college basketball. So many great upsets. 5 of the 6 top teams lost, and UConn, the 4th team, almost lost too. So that was pretty crazy. Just no one was safe this week, really. If you had a game, each team had a very similar chance to win this game. So getting into these upsets, the notable one is Nebraska beat number 1 Purdue. Just crazy game for Nebraska. They shot 60% from the field and 60% from 3, which you can beat anyone if you shoot 60% from 3. They also had 22 assists and 9 steals, which I think that 9 steals was really kind of the seal of the deal for Purdue there. I think that's too many turnovers for them, too many possessions empty, which I think they could have scored with Edey down low. So, yeah, good job, Nebraska. Crazy game, just great shooting. Yeah, Iowa State knocked off Houston, who's number 2, but obviously that's going to change this week. I think they're super overrated. Still a very good win for Iowa State, don't get me wrong. They just played a very complete game. I think they showed that they were just the better team, really, in that game. It wasn't like a hot shooting night or anything. They just kind of ran their stuff and ultimately beat Houston, who's having a hard time adjusting coming into the Big 12. Iowa State was led by Taman King and Milan Momcilovic in scoring, so good job, Iowa State. Central Florida beat Kansas. This was a crazy game, not only to watch, but just watch after the game as well. Crazy court storm down there in Orlando. The fans were hyped. The announcers were hyped. Everyone was going crazy down there. UCF, it was just crazy down there. So, yeah, they're led by Darius Johnson with 17 points, and Jalen Sellers also chipped in 18, which was a very, very good 1-2 punch for the Knights. Mississippi State knocked off number 5 Tennessee. It was a very, very close game. It came down to the last possession. Don't Connect obviously got the ball stripped from him, and Mississippi State goes down and throws down the exclamation point with a dunk to get a big win in Starkville. I think it was just a very, very high-scoring game. It was fun to watch. Mississippi State by far beat Tennessee in the first half, but Tennessee clawed their way back into it with that big press they put on Mississippi State. And next thing you know, it's a one-possession game. But Tolu Smith, this man right here, proved to be too much for the Vols. He was just such a good inside presence for them. He was, I think, the reason they won. But also Josh Hubbard, the freshman, had a very, very good game as well. So Mississippi State, kind of a statement win for them, a quad 1 win. So, yeah. Then Texas A&M knocked off Kentucky yesterday. That was just a crazy game for me to watch. And I was just super impressed by the way Wade Taylor and Tyrese Radford played. Taylor had 31, Radford had 28, and they kind of propelled the Aggies to a win over Kentucky in College Station. Radford had some clutch buckets down the stretch. Taylor had some clutch threes really down the stretch. Physicality for A&M was off the charts, as per usual with the Buzz Williams team. He's a great coach down there. So, yeah, it was a big win for A&M as they kind of started off slow this year, but I look for them to kind of pick it up as we get into March. Some other notable upsets are going to be Virginia Tech over Clemson, Butler over Marquette. The TCU Horned Frogs had a really big week this week. They beat both Oklahoma, who's ranked 9th, and Houston, who's ranked 2nd. Obviously, bad week for Houston. They're on the other side of this. Santa Clara, Steve Nash is in the house. Maybe he's their good luck charm. They knock off the Gonzaga in a crazy and one at the last second buzzer. New Mexico beat former Final Four team San Diego State. Washington State beat Arizona, and then West Virginia beat Texas. So it's a great week in college basketball. My final winner is going to be the Michigan Wolverines. I think this is a pretty obvious one. Obviously, they beat Washington 34-13 in the national championship this past Monday. Just extremely physical game from Michigan's standpoint. They completely took Washington out of their game plan. There's no time for Penix, whatever, to drop back and make an explosive play to Rome Odunze. Their front seven proved they're the best in college football, maybe one of the best in college football of all time, really. I think they completely dominated that game, and Michigan really could have put up just 3 touchdowns and won this game with how good their defense is. But they didn't. Obviously, their offense was pretty good as well, especially in the first quarter. Their O-line, physicality, again, coming out big holes. I think you could put my grandmother out there, and she probably could have scored a touchdown with all those big holes opened up. So congrats to the Michigan O-line for sure. They're not getting enough credit, I don't think. J.J. McCarthy, their signal caller, their quarterback. He's playing J.J. McCarthy ball. What else do you expect from him? Just calm, cool, collected, making big plays in big moments. Never too high, never too low. He's even keel, and that's what you want from such a great quarterback like J.J. Michigan fans, celebrate this win. Might be some bad news coming to you in a couple weeks with vacated championships. Harbaugh, I think, is going to get out of there, get out of Ann Arbor. He's going to head to the NFL, join his brother John, get rid of all those allegations, penalties, whatever he needs to get away from, whatever the NCAA decides. Michigan, enjoy this win, savor it. This is a big time for the Wolverines, obviously. So, congratulations, Michigan. Y'all deserve it. Y'all are the champs, undisputed. No one can beat y'all. So, so this will conclude my first segment of Barrett's Weekly Winners. Just thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll send it back to Grant Hunter.
And we're back. I don't know how we're going to put the audio with that. I think in the audio, you're just not going to get Barrett's Weekly Winners. Sorry, audio fans. People on video, what's up? They're going to get Barrett's Weekly Winners.
They might. We'll see.
Now switching to other sports besides football. I feel like that's what we've talked about the past 30 minutes. Your boy's out. How heartbroken are you that John Morant is out?
If you did not see,
They saw
John Morant.
Give me your honest feelings right now.
John Morant's out for the year. Shoulder surgery happened a couple of days ago.
Womp womp.
I think that because my immediate thought when I heard this was, what do they do at the deadline? Like
nothing. Nothing.
Do you sell it all?
If you're the Grizzlies,
You could get. I know. Do you trade Marcus Smart for something at all?
That's your team. I don't care. My Celtics are doing fine.
Okay. I'm talking about Celtics.
Go Celtics.
It sucks, I can't really. I saw it and I was
the text that this man sent me when I saw. Oh, he was heartbroken.
I was, because I know nobody. He's done some bad things. No one's questioning that, but he lied to the commissioner's face. He's done.
How could you
he
lie to
did his
that
time
beautiful
there.
bald man?
Keep going.
We're keeping that in.
All right. But he showed that. I don't know how the shoulder's going to affect him, but he showed that he is still a great player. I don't think he'll go back to total form, but I still think he's going to be one of the best players in the league.
Okay.
Sure. Does he drop the top 50 player to you if he wasn't top 25?
He dropped his clip. The Yankees made a big move. The Stro Show heading to the Bronx. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm very excited. The Yankees actually made a move. hoping they make another one. Very exciting.
Hopefully he's not coming off an injury. Like your
You
last
just
free
a-
agent
you
splash.
Just a big D1
Or
hater.
Splash. You hate on the best player in the
Big
NFL.
splat.
I don't want to hear it.
Okay. Yep. Yankees signed Marcus Stroman. This part of the episode's going off quick.
I have a question.
Okay.
And I am going to put this out there. I think the Braves trade for Chris Sale is better than the Yankees signing Marcus Stroman.
Yeah, I'd agree with you.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think.
Actually surprised. What do you think about the Braves doing that? As somebody who's not a Braves fan, that's going to agree with every decision Alex Athopoulos ever made, who just got extended. Thank the Lord for that.
I just wish he'd retire already. I'm tired of facing him in MLB The Show, dude. I hate facing Chris Sale in MLB The Show.
Oh, that beautiful.
You stupid freaking sidearm throw.
That's why he's injured all the time.
Well, that's why y'all got him. I don't know. I think it was a good pickup for them. I think it's what the Braves needed. I think that trading Vaughn Grissom might come and bite them in the butt. Although we've seen in the past that Boston has not been able to develop a solid shortstop in a minute, besides Xander Bogaerts.
Very good Xander Bogaerts.
Anyway, yeah, I think it was a good move by the Braves. I think the Yankees signing Stroman is where he's wanted to be, even though his Twitter activity says otherwise.
Do you think this puts them ahead of the Orioles, or do you think you were already ahead of the Orioles?
I think that if the Yankees stay healthy, which we probably won't, that's just me wishful thinking, that we will be better than the Orioles.
Okay.
But we can get into that another day. Baseball season is about to start anyway. That's very exciting.
Love baseball season.
We love some baseball season over here. Another thing that might have broke both of our hearts, but we kind of knew was happening. Tiger Woods has finished his round of golf with Nike Golf. Like what I did there? Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of that guy. Tiger Woods has left. It looks like he's possibly going to sign with TaylorMade or
It's already with
sign like a clothing.
Brand. There you go. I was about to say.
He's so special.
He has a club named after him.
Or with Topgolf. Topgolf did put out a kind of a teaser, I guess, saying like, "Hey, we might have landed Tiger." What would that look like if Topgolf landed Tiger Woods as their part of their clothing brand?
Well, it's definitely gonna. I mean, I actually do have a Topgolf brand shirt. It is kind of nice. I'm not even gonna lie, but
Like
that would be. I mean, anywhere Tiger goes, though.
Wait, you have a Topgolf branded shirt?
Well, I bought it at Topgolf, so I just assume it's their brand.
Oh, was it? Is it like a polo?
No, it's just like a shirt. It has like clubs on
T-shirt?
it. Yeah, it's like a nickname for each like club. It's kind of cool. I like it.
It's cute.
But anywhere Tiger goes, whether it be from Topgolf to TaylorMade to Callaway or Titleist, I mean, they're gonna.
Yeah, he'll be the biggest.
They're gonna have to pay him a lot, but they're gonna make a lot. So
I follow this dude on Instagram. He talks about sporting. I think his name's Jordan Rogers. Shout out. Pretty sure that's his name. This kind of looks like the end of Nike Golf. And I think of he has this podcast, and I listened to a little bit of it because I found it interesting. He kind of talks how the big power three, I guess, of golf, which is Nike, Under Armour, and what's the other one? Adidas, kind of just falling off a little bit. And now we're seeing guys sign with On, which is like On Clouds. What's his name just signed with Lululemon to be their first golf guy. You got a lot of what you would consider like the smaller brands,
the up and coming.
Yeah, and they're gonna start signing guys, and I think that Nike Golf is eventually just going to kind of. I think that the player exclusivity of I think of sports in general, like a signature shoe, all that, I think is going to start going away, and you're going to see kind of like, here's this shoe, and this player wears it, and we'll give them a colorway. So it's kind of like their shoe, but it's not
Kind of
their
what
entire
Nike
brand.
does with like some players, like before.
Yeah, it's not going to be like Michael Jordan. This is Michael Jordan shoes.
Like
this is all Jordan wears. This is
yeah,
his.
it's going to be like what Devin Booker used to do in
Yes.
color-wise.
And I think that is a much better thing for Nike, Adidas, Under Armour's, New Balance to kind of do, because I think building your entire identity off of one guy, and that one guy, let's say, gets in trouble a couple times, then you have a lot of shoes that aren't going to sell.
Yeah, I do think Nike will be the last brand to like keep, or like, because all these people are going other places. Nike does have a couple players. They're not on PGA, but they're on Live. Like they still have Dustin Johnson, who's part of Nike and stuff. But not having Tiger, like the face,
you're not going to see a guy get a signature.
Yeah, arguably like the face of golf leaving, because there's not. He's basically the GOAT, and so it's going to be hard because golf isn't, a huge sport.
Yeah.
And having a world-renowned figure leave is going to hurt them a lot. And, like, they're going to make so they're just not going to have signature
Yeah,
lines.
I think that it was just kind of a mutual
parting. It was for the best, probably.
Yeah. You still have the Tiger Woods building in Oregon, but I don't know what they'll do with that. They'll probably just keep the same name.
Keep it trending.
But yeah, I mean, it kind of stinks to see kind of go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all of our topics. We got anything else we want to cover here? Anything else comes to the dome? Anything about the week or weeks coming? I guess.
I don't.
Let's see. Let's give it a quick little scroll through the gram. You can talk.
I don't believe so.
I do have a new favorite head coach besides Josh Heupel.
Who?
Dan Lanning. That's my guy now.
Yeah.
Big Dan Lanning guy now.
Did you love that saying he said against Colorado?
Yep.
We're fighting for wins. They're fighting for clicks.
Yep.
Or whatever.
I like that. I liked his little video that he posted. Got a new guy there. I like that. Anything else?
I don't believe so. No.
Nothing else. Wow. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out. Bye.